I'm gonna be honest. We had a hard time getting through this show. This show sucks. No, it's not worth the watch.
It's not. Please save yourself. I repeat, save yourself.
Save yourself. This is one of the things that makes it the worst show, by the way. I'll let you do the honors, because yes, how could I ever forget?
I'll start and then you'll finish. How about that?
Okay, go ahead. You forgot to mention that. You just thought about that.
Okay, that reminded me. I don't know if I can go back in time.
Don't watch this! I don't know if you guys understood what we just said. I know that was quick, but we said, we'll say it again. Don't watch this. Alright, so in this segment, we're actually going to touch on several shows in one episode.
Not several, 3.
Several is 3.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, a few is 3.
Yeah,
My bad. Several's like 3, 4 more.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we're gonna touch on a few shows and kind of give you our take on them. And at the end of that, we'll give you our verdict. That will basically be the decider from us. Like, kind of just look at it as an advice, right? We're just giving you a heads up.
We're helping you to save your time.
Save you time.
As like what we said, don't watch this. And you're going to find out why.
So the first show is The Brother's Son. This one is recently released. I mean, you can already see her facial expression, what she thinks. This one came out 2024, and just to read just a little bit of a summary on it. It's about Charles' son, who's a character in this show, as you can probably hear. A Taipei gangster who settled into his life as a ruthless killer must go to LA to protect his mother and younger brother after his father is shot. That's just the basic summary. So let me dive into some reviews. I mean, your face expression's saying a lot already.
This show made me upset.
Why did it make you upset?
I got to a point that I'm like, what is this woman doing? Why? But continue.
So, she thinks that, but not everyone thinks like you.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Unfortunately.
Because I can see several comments on IMDb that are actually saying the contrary to what you said.
I know. There are a bunch of not so good.
So let me read one. So comment number 1, or review number 1. It is what you expect and more. Surprisingly funny. Really good acting, really good writing. Just enough fighting with realistic choreography. Some shows you...
I didn't laugh. Continue.
Some shows in the first 5 minutes it is going to be good. This one is one of those shows. Good production, they spent money on this and it shows. Characters are not at all one-sided and relatable. Subtitles are hard I think this is a personal thing. But there isn't too many. Michelle Yeoh is amazing in everything that she does. I love her in this show as a mother. She is delicate and strong at the same time. Watching the dynamic between mother and adult children is very interesting. Go.
That was the only character, the only thing that person said that was true. That character was good from when it started.
So you don't think
to the end.
You don't think there was any kind of humor that you found?
I did not laugh. Actually, I remember we watched it within a span of 2 months, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, we had a hard time getting through this show. This show sucks.
Yeah.
Because
it does.
And the humor that this person and others may think, no, it's not funny. It's just
the
stupid.
action is okay. Actually, the action is okay.
The action's fake. Like, you remember the last scene?
Fake, but it's okay.
The last
That's
scene where
the
they're at.
thing.
Where were they at? They were at like the hotel having like a huge get together with all the bosses. I mean, you literally have.
You can see people are being shot.
People
and you're
are being
like-
shot, and then yet you have what? You have people that are able to just walk through all of that. You have people who are just, oh, there's a focus on one or two guys. It's the same kind of fake action. Let's
There
just
was
be honest.
no humor
Let's just be
whatsoever
honest.
that I found on that show that should. I didn't laugh. I don't
I
know
didn't
what
laugh.
this person
I didn't
was on.
laugh once. And really, what people think is funny, they think is really coming from Bruce. And Bruce is just, to be honest, he's not funny. He's not funny
Yeah,
in
I
that
know.
show.
I know. I think
Like Bruce is not a funny character. He's not. Like a lot of his stuff is just being stupid. If he's not being stupid, he's being overly sensitive to the point where what? I mean, he's like a contradiction in some way. He's saying, "Oh, I want my family out of this," but at the same time, he's snitching to the very people who could kill his family. Like that doesn't even make any sense.
I know.
No, so I don't think it was funny.
It wasn't. It wasn't at all. No.
And Michelle Yeoh, I don't have any issues with her acting in other roles, but no, I don't see the connection. She's just a mother in this show that wants power.
But
At the end of the day.
I think she executed the role perfectly.
What? I mean, you can hire any person to
No,
do
it
that.
was done good by her. That one I give them.
Give me your reasons. I don't see
I'm
it.
just
I didn't
saying
see
the
it.
rest of the people, apart from at times being
In other words, I just see
stupid,
it being
I think-
standard. I just see it being very basic of a role. Like, of course she can act it. She's a professional. But there's nothing that she added on to make me say, you know what? Man, you blew this role out. No, I mean, she's just a mother that wants the power for...
No, the context was she's an Asian mom, blah blah blah. She suited the role. The role was perfect, and then she did that. She did it. I think I did. I know, but I think that role suited her. I think she did a good job acting that
And then what?
particular.
All right, and what was up with Charles? Charles, at first, he convinced. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. At first, when the show started, I liked Charles. I was like, okay, he's the only
liked
one
him
that
at the
is like
end.
legitimately serious enough to where I'm believing this.
I liked him at
He
the end.
seemed
not
serious.
When it started.
At the end, no, it just at the end, apparently he drops all of his childhood like traits. He literally grew up in this. He grew up in this. Not only does he change, but he also
What
gets.
well, the people who haven't watched, they don't know what he grew up in.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Charles' son is the brother. I mean, I've read the summary.
Yeah.
But he's the one that comes from Taiwan, and he happens to be the brother that grows up in a gangster lifestyle. Basically, like this family is connected, and they are well experienced in the gangster lifestyle in Taiwan. He happens to be the son of the leader of this
Yeah.
I don't know,
Organization.
crime organization,
Yeah.
right? He happens to be the son. So he grows up doing all of the dirty work. Like killing is like no problem to him. He gets to LA, he changes full 360 eventually. He does.
But he
He
wanted.
does.
He
And
never
not
wanted
only,
the
no,
life.
I wanted to highlight something before. No. Not only does he start changing, but he happens to fall in love with the person that can literally ruin
know.
everything.
I know, because they were
A
childhood
prosecutor.
friends. Yeah.
Because they were
That
childhood
prosecutor,
friends.
you reminded me of where I got upset, why I was so upset. The prosecutor made me upset every time. Like,
Right.
first of all, I didn't like how she was acting. Second of all, I just didn't like the role. Like, I don't know, you're a prosecutor, now you're in the police department.
Well, she's a prosecutor running the whole investigation
Yeah,
on
she
a
has
huge
jurisdiction
crime
over
organization.
everything. She can just be a cop today. She can do this.
It's crazy.
She can say, okay, let's follow this person. Even, I'm like, okay, are you, what sort of connections do you have? Like, it didn't make sense to me. She made me upset more than anyone in that
Yeah,
show.
that woman.
Yeah, she made me upset.
that woman did upset you.
Yeah, she made me upset. I didn't like how her role was portrayed at all.
All right, we got another comment, or I should say compliment for the show.
Compliments.
Loved this. It was a serious plot, Serious. Yeah, very serious. With explosive fight scenes, fake fight scenes, but hilarious too. Bruce being foolish. Anyhow, I'll continue. I like that it wasn't too serious gangster plot. I thought
It was.
okay. That's a facepalm. But anyway, there was humor added to it. Bruce is a little wimp. All right, we agree. But you can't help but love him.
No.
Charles is the bigger, scarier brother. They portray the mother as the most calculated, smartest woman of all the triad bosses. Charles comes with the intention of protecting his brother and mother, but it seems the mother has everyone under control. There's a cookie best friend, I think they mean cocky best friend, of Bruce, who's that guy that's always getting in trouble but means well, the Korean friend. Worth the watch, very entertaining. No, it's not worth the watch.
It's not. Please save yourself.
And honestly, even if you like, because alright, there's the crowd that's like, oh, you know, I like funny action type of stuff. I still don't think this is for you.
Save yourself. I repeat, save yourself.
Save yourself. And I think, well, actually, let's do a final verdict.
Well, wait. Before that, you forgot to mention something. There's a critical point. Everyone in this show, apparently, there are people who are coming from Taipei, but
Oh, man, how
did you forget that?
I will let you do the honors, because this is, honestly, this is one of the worst. This is one of the things that makes it the worst show, by the way. I'll let you do the honors, because yes, how could I ever
start and then
forget?
you'll finish. How about that?
Okay, go ahead.
For instance, I'm from Kenya. You can hear from my accent. I'm here in the United States, but you would tell. You know I'm not American. You can hear from my accent.
But apparently, it's so interesting. I didn't know English was a native language in Taiwan.
Yeah.
And I understand you're trying to appeal to American audiences, but come on. Don't make all of these people super fluent with an American English accent.
Everyone,
like, you have people, crime bosses getting off the plane speaking like a person who's born and raised here. This is not a race thing. This is a culture thing.
Yeah.
If someone is born in Taiwan, they're not waking up speaking English like someone who's born in America.
I know, and
they're
let's
just
say
not.
someone has lived their whole life in Taiwan.
That's my point.
How?
Because, alright, Charles, he speaks pretty good English.
And
right?
it's okay. They're rich.
Because he's rich.
Yeah.
But come on, all of these crime bosses speak perfect English?
All even
Or
their
like not
minions.
even- yeah, the minions of these crime bosses are
Yeah.
speaking perfect English? Give me a break. No, this is fake, and it's just trying to appeal to a large audience too much. And it's losing me. Not only are the fight scenes overly done like typical action, but also the comedy's not funny. And the worst part, they should have actually portrayed people from Taiwan, which they do not do well at all.
Zero.
So it's frustrating watching
I
the
liked
show.
the mom's accent and the dad's
The
accent.
mom and dad's accent are the only ones. So the actual crime boss, like the dad, he is speaking a lot in Mandarin.
Yeah.
Or I think Cantonese. I don't remember. I'm sorry. But he speaks a lot in their language, right?
Which makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. The mom has a very strong accent. Makes a lot of sense. Bruce, he doesn't need one. He's born here. So I understand. But you can't have people who are arriving fresh from Taiwan who didn't have like amazing English lessons growing up as a kid, who has no kind of, like, there's no evidence to show that they should be speaking that proper of English.
Yep.
No, you lose me. And this is why my final verdict on the show is an absolute do not watch. Absolutely. What is your final verdict on this show, babe?
I said it with you. Do not watch. Save yourself. Save
yourself. Next show. We're going to go in order in which we watched them. So the next one we watched, it's sad that we feel this way, but it's true.
Yeah.
Archive 81.
Yeah.
This show, I mean, come on.
Wow.
This show.
First of all, even before we go to the bad, let me say, wow. It was like a puzzle for me. Just say, what is it about?
Archive 81 is about an archivist hired to restore a collection of tapes, finds himself reconstructing the work of a filmmaker in her investigation into a dangerous cult. That sounds freaking fun to watch. It sounds really, really fun.
It was until...
Well, it started out very promising. Like, honestly, we had a hard time not continuing, right? Like,
we
I'm not,
watched
you know me, I'm not even a binge watcher, right? Like,
we had to binge watch.
I do not binge watch anything. I'm like, no, even if it's good, I'm like, nope, let's just wait.
I know.
You know me.
Yeah.
But this one, I had a hard time not wanting to binge watch. I know,
every time I'm like, let's watch another episode.
I'm pretty sure we watched 2 episodes every single time.
Yeah.
Because there was so much mystery. I was like, oh my goodness. What is going to happen?
I was trying to put the pieces together. It was like a puzzle for me. Every time in my head, I'm like, okay, what should I expect? Okay, am I wrong about this? What's this? Like, it was a puzzle.
It was the mystery, and it was a puzzle. It was a mystery, right?
The mystery was good.
And it's like, and then what always grabs me in is when, like, films or shows show like footage through an old camera of some kind. That really draws me in. I'm like, wow, all right, what's gonna happen? Because not only is this guy doing a cool job, he's literally restoring tapes, right? Yeah. Which a lot of people would say, oh no, those are damaged permanently. He completely restores these tapes. Yeah. Right? That makes it pretty cool. So just think of that mystery. You're like, what is on these tapes?
I know.
And then one leads to the next, and then
the next,
you're
and
like,
they're like,
man.
wow, we are putting the pieces together.
Right.
But let's hear what people are saying.
Yes. So, creepy and entertaining. This series is a well-done horror, thriller, and mystery TV show. Maybe it's a bit complicated and confusing, but at the end, it will all crystallize piece by piece. In my opinion, I think this series is a mix between the Sinister movie and the Dark series on Netflix. Don't know what that show is. I recommend this series all the way.
For me, they lost me at episode 5. I remember I was so intrigued. I was into it. It has 8 episodes, I guess. Yes. And
I believe so.
Episode 5 was the last episode that I enjoyed. The last 3 were...
Well...
No, episode 6, they took us to the past, which I did not agree with, or we did not agree with. They should have showed the past in that same lens they were showing us when it started. So I wouldn't say... I don't have anything against this film, like, necessarily, this series, because I'm like, it's a 50-50 for me. I enjoyed half of it.
I would say yes, but at the same time, when you're watching a show, like, I know it's a high bar, but you can't start high and then end like very poor, like, or end very low.
I know.
That's honestly. Like, I prefer actually the opposite. Like, if I'm watching a show and I'm like, man, this show sucks. And then I continue, I'm like, all right, I'll continue. And then it ends so high, I'm like, wow.
I know.
That lets me know I shouldn't underestimate. But this one built us up only to drop us so low. And I will tell you the number one reason for me. The characters' choices in this show.
It was very questionable.
They made these characters very...
gullible.
Not even the characters, right? It's one character in particular.
Yeah.
So, without diving into the entire episodes, I'm just going to highlight some elements that I really disagree with.
Yeah.
Okay, this apartment building, we'll say that, right? This apartment building is clearly overrun with a bunch of strange people. People that are all within a cult.
Yeah.
All with, like, doing just strange things. Okay, let's start there. The person that is moving into this apartment is a grad student who is trying to find her mother.
Yeah. Made sense.
Right? And she is kind of trying to connect the dots with this apartment and her mother. There's a bunch of strange things that start going on.
Yeah.
So, number one, she doesn't leave soon enough.
I know. She already knows the mother is not there. Why are you here still? Leave.
Right. Not only that, but her friend joins her because her friend's a great friend.
I was so sad about that.
And just throughout this show, she's showing complete lack of she does not care about her friend.
Yeah.
She is happy leaving her friend behind. Right?
And she knows these things.
Her friend is literally, there's a scene where her friend's literally losing her mind. Like, she's drawing this evil character over and over and over again. And
but her priorities.
Her priority is not on trying to save this friend.
Yeah.
Not at all.
She's like, oh, okay, I'll come back. And then she remembers later, oh, my friend. And then something comes up. And then she forgets the friend again. And you're like, okay, your friend left wherever she came to stay with you. She came to keep you company because you said that this place is scary. But then again, you're leaving the same friend who came to be with you to tend to other things.
So it gets to a point where she needs to escape. And she's like, all right, I will say during the show, she starts becoming emotionally tied to this girl, this teenage girl, who's born in this apartment, mind you. Which, okay, I understand you feel bad for her, but you can't prioritize her over your best friend. You just can't. I know that may sound wrong, but where's all the history coming from? Come on, you can't. Second, there's a particular scene that upsets me now. She had an opportunity to not only get this teenage girl out of this apartment, but also save herself.
Yeah.
There is someone who knocks on a door, right?
Yeah.
She sneaks into this apartment where this teenage girl's being kept in, and she manages to open the window and say, hey, like she manages to convince this teenage girl to leave. The window's right there. The fire escape's there. You can get out of this apartment building. You can. It's not like there was something going on outside. No. You can get out. And then all of a sudden, knocking is taking place outside the apartment unit.
And she's like, oh well, let me stay.
And she's like, go. She shuts the window and then she just stands there. What are you doing?
I know.
And then the person barges in. What happened to her?
I know.
And she's just standing there.
And then she's the one who's taken now.
So now she's taken. So we've highlighted a couple. I'm not going to dive into every single detail, but there's a reason why this show became sour to me. Because
you were upset that whole
I got
night.
upset.
You were upset.
After when the show ended, I was mad.
You were mad.
I went to sleep upset.
He would walk around and be like, that show.
Yeah, even the next day, I was like, I cannot believe it. Man, I hate that show. Because of how they made these characters so dumb.
Okay, let me leave you alone because you've taken this so personal. This is too personal.
I could not help it. Because this show made me so mad because it built us up so high.
I know.
And I'm not a show person. I'm a movie person. So for me to give this my time,
and then you have been watching this thing only for it to disappoint you.
Man, this made me mad.
But for me, it's a 50-50 thing because if I got to episode 5 and I still liked it in episode 5, I would still recommend.
Yeah, that was a scene that got you. It made you jump.
Yeah.
Go ahead, talk about that.
I can't even remember that scene.
Okay. I remember. I'll just because I don't remember the entire scene.
Yeah.
But there's a part where they're in like a convenience store.
Oh yeah.
And the camera's just placed there.
Since
like,
we
it's
are in
just-
the past, yeah.
Right. And the archivist he's basically repairing these tapes, he's watching them to make sure they're working fine.
Yeah.
And he's watching this one particular part where the camera's just positioned. The camera is positioned and it's not moving, right? The subjects in the camera frame leave. They leave the camera behind and it's just sitting here. And then there's this creepy woman that lives in that apartment building. Demonstrate it. She walks in and she's like looking around and then she walks all the way to the camera. And what does she say?
Stay away. And then there's the hand that
and
comes.
then her hand just goes flying out of the TV screen.
Out of the TV screen, and then it's like. I was like.
You got so scared.
I know. Oh.
That got you. But I was like, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
I know.
But that got you so bad.
That did.
But again, this is earlier in the show.
I know, and that's why I'm giving it like it's a 50-50 for me, because it was good.
They even start making the archivists do some foolish things.
I know that's what got me upset, because I'm like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Like, why?
What's one of the things that like stuck out to you that he did that was pretty foolish?
Going back to save that lady. I don't know what kind of relationship he had with her. Just because he was watching the videos doesn't mean that you go and save her and you don't know what's happening.
Right.
And then you get stuck in the past.
You get stuck in the past.
I'm like, do you know this woman? No.
So, without diving into too much detail, the archivist does have a connection to this girl a bit because her psychologist was his dad.
Yeah.
But that does not justify completely going off cliff to full out saving her.
I know.
And sacrificing your own life and well-being.
I know.
That's my main problem with
what
him.
he could have done after finding out these things, the way he destroyed the tapes,
Right.
he could have left and never came back.
Right.
Just that. Simple.
Right.
And from the beginning, I was like, you've been placed in an isolated place. You can't get any internet connection. You can't get anything.
Right.
At first, I understood because he wanted to know the history of the dad and whatnot.
Right.
But still, after he found out everything, pack up your things and go.
It's just like they made it to where he was, like you said, he was starting to get too tied to the woman.
Yeah.
Because like he was like, well, what? He wasn't really imagining these conversations.
Yeah,
right?
that was the actual.
Yeah, I know. That was interesting.
The other thing that was very interesting.
But it happened earlier in the show.
Yeah.
But anyhow, if you decide to watch this, you'll see that dialogue is able to be exchanged between the two.
Yeah, through the tapes.
And it's basically when he's dreaming, right? Or was that the case?
For him, he's sitting there. It's actually happening in real life for him. But in the girl in the tape is dreaming about
the
this
girl.
guy.
Yeah, it's the woman's dream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's right. One of the main problems of that is they dropped it. They stopped utilizing it.
I know. That's how he could have saved her.
That was the frustrating thing about it.
Yeah, but instead they make him go straight into this whole thing.
Anyhow, I'm going to give my final verdict. And I'm going to go ahead and say, do not watch this show. Do not watch this show. It is a letdown. If you like to be let down, watch it. But do not blame me, right? Because I gave you a heads up. After episode 5, you will be let down. Go ahead, give your final verdict.
For me, it's if this is your genre, if you like the mystery, if you like
the horror
puzzles, you can watch it because it's episode 1 to 5 is good.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, that's where you'll start to be like, oh, why are they making this?
You'll start questioning your decisions.
Yeah, but for me, if it's your thing, do it. So it's a maybe for me. That's why I said.
Watch it if it falls
That's
into
why I
your
said
genre.
it's 50-50 for me.
Okay.
So if it's 50-50 for me, do it if it's your genre. So
All right.
I won't judge you.
I will. The final show we will discuss is one that we actually just finished watching.
Yeah.
The Watcher.
I'm the Watcher. Say it.
Well, let me introduce the show first. Okay, The Watcher is a show from 2022, right? So it's not too old, but not too new. It is about a married couple moving into their dream home. They are being threatened by terrifying letters from a stalker signed The Watcher.
The Watcher.
So now I guess I'll try to do my best.
Take it.
I'm the Watcher.
Love.
All right, ready? Where are you going in the morning? You don't work a job anymore. When are you going to tell your family?
I'm the Watcher.
I'm the Watcher. I'm always watching you. I can see you wherever you are. Anyhow, jump right in.
For me, this show, I don't have any feelings about.
You don't have any positive feelings about it?
Positive, negative. It's just like
Yeah, but how did it start for you? Did you not like it from the start?
Yeah, I
Wow.
think I guess I was like, okay, I'm watching.
But nothing really.
Like, okay, I'm watching.
I'm watching.
Okay.
They got you watching.
Okay. Let me see where this goes. But then again, I continued to watch.
Right.
I'm just watching at that point.
You've been saying watching a lot. But
Yeah.
It makes sense since you're watching The Watcher.
Yeah. I kept on watching. I don't get it. I'm like.
Okay, so this show.
You
all right.
kept laughing through the whole show. And I'm like, why are you laughing?
The funny thing is this show is not a comedy show. That's bad.
I know. You kept laughing. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching you laugh. Okay.
Yeah, I would check on you, right? I'd be like, do you not think this is funny? No.
I'm like, no. And then I'm still watching, but I'm still not getting it. So I'm like, okay. All right. Okay.
So
Let's
for
watch.
me, I'm the one to blame. I selected this show.
Definitely.
Because I was curious. I was like, well, I mean, The Watcher title, I don't read what things are about before I watch them. I usually go off of just images or
He does
something.
not even want to see a
I
trailer.
I don't watch
okay.
trailers. I don't read what it's about. No. I want to just dive right in. So I looked at the image and I was like, okay, The Watcher.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the harm? This seems like it could be all right. I'm familiar with some of the actors in this, and I was like, even though I don't follow actors, I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. So it opens up, and I'm like, okay, it's interesting to me, right? You start receiving some anonymous letters, and you're in a somewhat small town, in a big house. What can go wrong? How can you mess this up?
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the number one issue for me is you never tell anybody.
Yeah.
So you receive all these anonymous letters, and they don't make it clear who's actually behind all of it.
Yeah.
Who started the
then-
letters, right? It leads you to think who you know, like who you think is like writing all of this,
They
but
kept the
it
mystery.
doesn't actually pinpoint it, right? It doesn't. And they make the dad very stupid in this show.
I know.
He's very dumb in this show.
He just has emotional outbursts that I'm like.
He doesn't think at all.
Yeah.
The guy is just...
He goes ahead and spews everything and tells them, oh,
You forgot to mention that.
oh,
You just thought about that.
oh. Okay, that reminded me. I don't know if I can go back in time and tell you about what this woman did, but let me just go back and say it. That lady from
Archive
Archive
81.
81.
Sorry to be unorganized.
She kept saying every move. She kept saying
No, but
everything.
who is she saying every move to?
The bad people, the bad guys. So if okay, but take it over. Take it.
Okay,
Take it.
so it's almost like, say for example, you're trying to catch someone, right? Say they're bad and you're trying to catch them, right? Meanwhile, you know, every time when you talk to them, you're like, oh, I saw you do this crime. And you know what? I have this evidence pinned
I know.
against you. You're like, you know how they say don't show all of your cards? She's not following that at all. She's showing every single card every chance she gets to the people she shouldn't be showing them to.
Say, oh, you changed your name several times. You are called this. You are called
So
this.
then meanwhile, while she's living in this apartment complex with all of the bad people, she's also telling them, I know you're bad, and these are the reasons why you're bad.
I know.
Why would any sane person want to stay there while you're
have
exposing
evidence
these
that you're
people
bad.
who are dangerous?
I know. I have evidence that you're bad.
Like, that is crazy.
And apparently you still need to survive.
Anyhow, babe, is that your last point?
Oh, that was my
So
last
we
one.
can
No,
jump
let's
back
come
to
back.
The Watcher.
Yeah.
So, the Watcher. The dad is not very intelligible.
I know.
He's prone to outbursts, and not just prone to outbursts maybe to his closest family, like, I mean, breaking down and crying. No, he's like emotionally unstable to people he shouldn't be breaking down in front of.
Yeah.
Right? And he tells them, he shows them all of his cards.
Yeah.
I know who you are. I know you're hiding this. You're the one that's doing this. And so it makes his
So if you're a
situation
bad guy,
worse.
of course you'll change your tactics. You'll do this.
Right,
Fine.
you'll
So why
change
are you
things
saying,
up.
Why are you telling everyone your
So
business?
basically, it seems that this neighborhood, like the surrounding neighbors of this huge, nice house, is so in love with this house, right? They're so in love with this house that they become, I mean,
It's
they're
not
just,
even
they're,
in love with the house. They don't want to change anything in the neighborhood.
but then they're part of a preservation committee,
yeah,
like a
and that's
neighborhood
the thing.
preservation
Because
committee.
everyone who moved in there and wanted to change anything in the house, that's when trouble.
So basically, these letters, I should dive into that. These letters are threatening the family, and they're telling you every single thing about you.
Yeah.
Right? They know when someone goes to work. They know, oh, your daughter's changing nude with the window open. They know everything about you guys. Mind you, we end up finding out that there's like an underground tunnel in the house that people can access the property whenever they want to.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the family does not know that early on, obviously. They don't know that, I would say, until probably towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
But it's just, I guess the problem with this show is that there's not enough uncovering being done throughout this show. Wouldn't you say?
For me, I was just watching, honestly.
And then they just start, you have no points.
I
They
don't.
start trusting this investigator who's referred
I
by
know.
the police, who's not doing anything
I
about
know.
any scenario.
know.
In other words, it just seems like a small town full of connections,
Yeah.
and you don't really know who to trust. Meanwhile, the family's like suffering through all of
Yeah,
this.
they have emotional. They're just suffering emotionally.
So like the show's not horrible, but it's like, I guess it's like your expression's the best one because
yeah.
it doesn't leave an impression on you at all.
like,
And that's kind of like the worst. Like
Yeah.
you don't really have like incredible
Yeah.
strong points for it or
You're like,
against it.
okay, I watched episode 1. I can watch episode 2 in a week's time. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're not rushing to any episode.
Yeah.
And then nothing's like really clinching you in.
You're
this-
just watching, honestly.
Right?
Like the watcher.
You're just watching like the Watcher.
Like the watcher. I'm the watcher.
I don't even know what else to cover with this show. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
there is nothing.
It's really kind of bland and boring. I mean, what? Security cameras are set up. That doesn't really help. What they find out. I mean, I already told you they find there's a secret tunnel. Even after finding out there's a secret tunnel, nothing is done.
We didn't read any remark from people.
Let's touch on the reviews then, but the reviews won't convince you either.
Just give us the review.
So,
Let's see.
absolutely unique, one of the best thrillers ever. That's the title of this. I already disagree, but anyhow. This show is amazing. I was looking for a horror-style TV show, but this is a lot more in every aspect. Not in one aspect, in every aspect. I have seen a couple of series in this category, and this stands out of all of them. Did you hear me? This one.
I did.
Like, you're talking about the thriller genre,
I know.
a powerful genre. This one, though, left an impression.
I think
Keeps-
we live in different worlds.
Just maybe. Archive 81 all over again. Anyhow.
Wow.
Stay away. Anyhow, keeps up the tension throughout the whole story and brings in new twists were not even expected. Honestly, the twists were not leading you anywhere.
No.
The neighbors
There was
supposedly
no
were
twist,
shot,
though.
but then they come back.
I was not even shocked by the twist.
The twists weren't strong enough. Like, it was almost like, oh, okay, that
Because
happened.
they say, oh, maybe it could be this, or maybe it's this. Every time they're like, maybe it's him, maybe it's her.
But again, it doesn't lead to anything. And it doesn't help that the primary investigator you have working on your side was inspired by a TV show. Or
I know.
TV shows of investigators.
So this private investigator was watching true crime. They love true
And
crime.
mind you, they weren't 5 when they were watching this. They were watching this when they were well
Yeah.
into their adulthood.
Yeah, so they took up being a private investigator because they've watched true crime and they said, why not? Why not become a private investigator? Why not?
Anyhow, I think I'm not even going to finish this review. It's not even worth finishing.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump and give my verdict right now and say, do not watch.
it. Do not.
Do not watch this.
You'll be like me, meh. But if you want to be like that guy, oh, it's so nice. It's so good. It's the best. Okay.
Go and watch it, I mean, but hey, I guarantee you won't.
But
I'll bet
I'm
you
just
$5.
telling you, save yourself. Don't waste your time. Actually, you can watch something better. You can do
Absolutely.
better.
Absolutely.
That one, no.
That's all the shows we wanted to cover.
Yeah.
Mind you, I know today we dropped the bomb, but that does not mean every show we will discuss will come off or will give a negative review for. It is possible we very much so will find a show and give like raving reviews about it and say, watch this show, right? There are times where we will say that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we wanted to give you guys a break from all of the horrible
True crime.
Trauma.
Oh,
We'll be back next week. Right?
Yeah, we will. But yeah, until next time, see you in the next one. Bye.